Hi everyone. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a demo of how you can use the Excel pivot tables to summarize your data. So the data that I'm using is a national parks data set. So this variable has a lot of variables, but the variables that are of interest to us for this demo purpose is all the way to the right. So this variable over here has the name of the park. This one has information of the region of the park. This one has information on the state where this park is located. It's also got the information of the unit code. This one here is the name of the park. And this information over here is the classification of the park. That is whether a park is classified as a historic park or historic site or a recreation area. And this field over here has the information of the total number of visitors for a given year, which is captured by this field. So let's try to summarize this data so that our pivot table gives us a summary of the total number of visitors for a given year for a given park. So let's get started. So I'm going to go over to the insert. I am going to click on the pivot tables, click OK, and I'm going to have this field visible. Okay. Okay, just a sec. Okay, we are only seeing one variable over here, so that probably means that our only one variable is being selected. So I'm just going to deselect this one, and I'm just going to click the entire thing, and I'm going to click on the pivot table again. Okay, so here we have. So our objective here is to summarize the data of the number of visitors for a given park for a given year. So for that, what I'm going to do is I am going to bring this year to the rows column because I'd like to have the year data as row. And I'm going to have unit name, which is the name of the park, as column. I mean, you could have the unit name as row and the year as a column value, whichever you think is good for you. I like to keep the year value as row, so I'm just keeping it like that. And this one over here is going to go to the summation value because we are trying to compute the total number of visitors. So this is how our summary looks like. So from this table, we can tell that for the year 2006, Abraham Lincoln Park had around 200,000 visitors. For the year 2007, Abraham Lincoln Park had around 202,000 visitors. Likewise, Acadia National Park had around 2,083,000 visitors. In 2007, it had around 2,202,000 visitors, which means the number of visitors for the Acadia National Park and Abraham Lincoln Park had gone up by around 2,000 visitors. So this is what we have in terms of numbers. So let's say your manager comes to you and says that he or she would like to see this, would like to know whether the number of visitors has gone up or has gone down from the last year. So for that, what we can do is we can go over here and we can go to the value field settings and we can go to the show value as, click on percentage difference, and the base item is going to the previous year because we are trying to compare the current data with the past record. That is, we are trying to see whether the number of visitors has gone up or down in comparison to the last year. So our base value or the base item is going to be the previous year. So if we do click OK, this is how it's going to look like. So so we did see that the number of visitors in the Abraham Lincoln National Park had gone up in 2007 compared to 2006. We also know that the number of visitors in the Acadia National Park had gone up compared to the year 2006. So this is how you can use the pivot tables to generate the summary of data. And you could also use the same pivot tables to see whether there has been an increment or a decrement in the number of visitors compared to the last year. So that's one thing. The other thing that we can do is we can also group the year value in the pivot tables. So let's say if you want to group the data, so what you can do is you can click on right click on the data value, click on group. So let's say you'd like to group the year by the difference of 2. So if we do that, this is how it's going to look like. Okay, so if you again want to generate the percentage, then you're gonna have to go to the value fill settings. So yeah, so the basic idea here is that you can use the Excel pivot tables to summarize the data to see whether the numbers have gone up or gone down just by looking at just by generating the numbers, or you can also generate the data in terms of percentage in the Excel pivot tables.